Hello, everyone, and welcome to Buffalo Wild Wings in Pikeville for the Coach Al Holland Show. I'm Andrew Joyce, your host, and tonight we'll talk with the University of Pikeville head coach Al Holland with a complete recap of last week's win over Cincinnati Christian, a record-setting win for the Bears as UPike goes to 2-0 on the season, 2-0 in the Mid-South Conference East Division, and they sit atop those standings. We'll preview the next matchup coming up with the University of Cumberland's as well. You'll meet a couple of the Bears players as well. Coach Al Holland joins us now, and we'll take a look at highlights from last week's win, but you've got to be pleased. Offense, on track, defense, record setting.
Yeah, a big day for us and good way to come off of an off week, getting some guys healthy and getting them back, and that was nice. Also adding David Roberson back that had tore his ACL in the spring, and, been waiting for that return for him, and he came back and did a great job in a limited role up front and with that offensive line and just that leadership. And, a two-time all-conference offensive lineman, adding him back into the lineup gives you a little more confidence up front and the guys beside him. So that was big for us. And, Coach Weems did a great job calling the defense this weekend and getting those guys flying around. And, a record-setting day, 0 passing yards, less than 100 yards of offense, so and created a bunch of turnovers. And, and it set up some short fields for us offensively, and we took advantage of those opportunities, as in a few weeks before we didn't take advantage of those opportunities. And then, hey, it was nice to see our kicking game do well. Demir Karapanzik, I want to say he had a 42-yard field goal on the day. So, we got a lot of great work in and, good a tune-up here going into this Mid-South Conference East because, we got some tough ball games ahead of us.
I think shows a lot of focus as well. Coming off an off week, a chance for this team to overlook Cincinnati Christian, possibly go into that unfocused and maybe just play to the competition.
Right.
This team came out focused and ready to take care of business, and they played Bear football.
And we changed our off-week schedule. We talked about that a little bit last week, and, I think it really paid off for us. And guys were chomping at the bit to hit somebody else other than somebody in a orange jersey this past weekend. And, you had homecoming, had every reason in the world to sort of not be focused in, and the guys were ready to go and played really well, and it was a big day for us.
Indeed, and we're going to take a look at those highlights in the 59-0 win over Cincinnati Christian. And we'll get a look at those highlights.
Early in the game here, getting pressure on their quarterback was big for us. Here's a little trick play we ran early. We talked about it. We've been prepping it and almost got in with the score, but R.J. Gordon with a nice pass there on that double pass. And as Willie McLeod here gets his first score of the day, want to say he had 2 touchdowns on the day, and you get to talk to him in a few minutes. T. Brown running the alley and making a nice tackle for us. Here's Bowen Smith, just being more poised in the pocket and, tucking it down and running it. And here was Willie on his second touchdown of the day. Nice run and good blocking up front, creating a nice hole for him. Emmett Kersey right there, can't say enough great things about him. He continues to impress us and playing more and more as time goes along. Ramon Morris here with the pick on the day had a big day for us and ended up being the Mid-South Conference Player of the Week. Had this pick, and you'll see here in a few minutes a field goal block that he returns for a touchdown. And, Mike Howard in on the action there with a nice catch. Jordan Owens had, he's coming along for us and doing a great job for us. Can't say enough about him. A prime example of staying the course and continuing to work. Kirksey with his first touchdown on the day. Here was the block kick by Zach Bowens, our Betsy Lane native here, and Ramon picks it up, and the guys, block for him and get him in the end zone here. Here was Shannon Patrick finding Braxton Whitmore on a nice catch. It went all the way down to the 1, looked like a touchdown to me. But then Xandre Willis, bouncing it outside and using his speed, electrifying speed to get out to the edge and find the pylon there. And there's T. Brown again with another big tackle running that alley. And there's the field goal we was talking about. Great job by our senior kicker, Demir Karapanzik. Mike Howard with the touchdown here. Shannon finds him in the back of the end zone. Later in the game, Andre Williams had 2 fumble recoveries on the day. Another prime example of a kid taking advantage of some opportunities and working hard and doing a great job. my man Casey McLean, our fullback, the guys wanted to move him back there to tailback, and he got back there and got his first touchdown of his career, and that was big for him. And then, Ramon Morris with the Mid-South Conference Defensive Player of the Week.
We'll get a chance to talk with Ramon coming up in just a little bit. Willie McLeod is here as well.
Yep.
It is the Coach Al Holland Show as we talk U-Pike football. Your team 3-4 and 2-0 in the Mid-South Conference East, and every game carries a lot of meaning from here on out. None more important than the next one, and it will be that way the rest of the season.
Yep.
University of Cumberland, it's a team that you've done battle with. This program's entire history in the conference, it's always a battle, but it seems with Cumberland you always know what to expect.
Yep.
And it'll be a hard-hitting physical football game.
Oh, it's going to be. And, last year we go down to their place and turn the football over early in the game and, let them play from ahead. And, big key with them is making them play from behind. But Coach Reimer does a great job, a great friend of mine growing up. And, it's great always getting to coach against him in this game right here. And it's a big game for us at home, and I like our opportunity here at home this weekend.
Indeed. We'll talk more about Cumberland's coming up in just a little bit. We'll meet the players as well. But your offense had sputtered a little bit last couple of times out. 411 total yards of offense and 26 first downs. Your offense really seemed to be clicking. Yeah, I understand. You heavily outmanned Cincinnati Christian. But for your team to go out and execute like that, regardless of competition, you have to like that.
Yeah, and really like that. And then, the 26 first downs, that's big for us, showing that, you're moving the chains and you're doing things, it's not just nothing but big plays.
Sure.
And you're having to move and work to get the football down the field, and says a lot about us. And, we're starting to mature a little bit. But, only time's going to tell here down the stretch. So the guys are working hard, and that's all I can ask out of them.
We'll meet a couple of those players, Willie McLeod and Ramon Morris, coming up when the Al Holland Show returns from Buffalo Wild Wings in Pikeville. It's presented by Appalachian Wireless. Welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings in Pikeville. It is the Al Holland Show, and we're talking University of Pikeville Bears football. We'll preview the University of Cumberland's. That's coming up a little later when we're rejoined by the coach. Now we'll step into the Bears Den, a chance for you to meet a couple of the Bears players. And joined now by junior cornerback out of Louisville, Ballard High School, Ramon Morris joins us now, the reigning Mid-South Conference East Division Defensive Player of the Week. Ramon, congratulations. Great week last week.
Appreciate it, yeah. We had a big week coming from, tough loss, being on 4-game losing streak, we turned it around huge.
Of course, now back in the East Division competition. You sit atop the standings in the East Division. Every game out, Coach and I talked about, means a lot from here on out. You've got Cumberland's coming up. We'll talk about that just a bit. But first, let's talk about Ramon Morris. Let's talk about the student athlete. Let's talk about what your major is.
My major is communications, it's doing a lot of talking and a lot of speaking. Come from me not being a vocal guy, vocal leader on the field. But, when I'm very quiet, but when the time comes to speak, I can speak.
You can turn it up when you need to.
Yes, sir.
Hey, what do you plan to do with that communications degree? What are your plans for the future after U-Pike?
Maybe going to coaching, with sports analysts, do something you're doing right now and take over your job. So,
okay. I see that coming. See, I see that hunger in these guys' eyes that come on the show and they tell me they major in communication.
Yes, sir.
They're ready to take over.
Yes, sir.
Can you give me a couple of years at least?
Couple of years?
I'll give
you a couple of years.
Ramon Morris, he's a junior at the University of Pikeville, out of Louisville, Ballard High School. Great program in that tough Louisville area. Trinity, St. X, Manual, Mayo, Ballard. They're always mentioned in those sentences. How tough is it making the transition from that type of football to Mid-South Conference brand football?
It's very tough. Being in that 6th region, coming from Trinity, being the number 1 team in the nation in my senior year of high school, it prepared me a lot coming to the Mid-South Conference, which is a good conference in the NIA level, so it prepared me a lot.
Absolutely. Of course, great high school football there. You see a lot of those guys that you played with on Friday nights now in the Mid-South Conference, different schools, different programs, but the best of the best go on. Of course, you had 27 tackles on the season. You get a scoop 6 on a block kick. Saturday. What went through your mind when you saw the ball laying there?
Oh man, when I saw the ball in there, I had to go get it because usually when I do that, it's just 2-point conversions. You know, just count for 2. But this one's the real deal this time. So I just went out loud and scooped the ball, and it fell in my arms, and I just took it in for 6, and I was excited about it. First career touchdown, so it felt great.
Played a little cornerback in my day as well, a long, long time ago. But I got to tell you, when you're playing that corner and you see a pass coming through the air that you've got a shot to pick off, I know what that feels like. Cornerbacks dream of that. Yeah. Tell us about your interception Saturday.
I dreamed about it. I mean, I seen the quarterback rolling out, and I didn't expect him to throw it because all the receivers covered. So he threw it, and it came my way, and I just, when I see the ball in the air, it's like instant snap. So I go get it, and I just got it, and took it back and helped us put us in good field position and lead to a touchdown.
It did indeed, and you are the Mid-South Conference East Division Defensive Player of the Week. Thanks to that effort on the defensive side. Let's talk a little about Cumberland's. You guys have had a chance to look at some film. You're aware of what Cumberland's does. Very physical football team. What do you expect Saturday?
Oh, yeah, they're a very physical football team. I expect a lot out of those. Coach Williams prepares us good in practice every day, watching a lot of film, make sure we're in the right position. And when we're in the right position, we'll make the right plays and be victorious on Saturday. Coach
Williams, of course, the defensive coach, he puts up goals every week before your matchups. How many of your goals did you guys hit this week against Cincinnati Christian?
Oh, we hit 9 out of 10 goals this week. It was probably the best ever. Like, we made them almost perfect. So, yeah, he was very excited about that. When seeing Coach Williams happy, it puts some fire in us.
Doesn't happen often, does it?
No, it doesn't happen often. But when he smiles, it's joyful.
Let's get 10 out of 10 this Saturday against Cumberland.
Yes, sir.
Ramon Morris, reigning Mid-South Conference East Division Defensive Player of the Week. Our guest will go offensive. Next, Willie McLeod will join us in the Bears Den. It's the Al Holland Show presented by Appalachian Wireless. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings for the Coach Al Holland Show, where we talk U-Pike football every Tuesday evening at this time. And we'll be rejoined by the head coach of your U-Pike Bears. That's coming up. And now we stay in the Bears Den. We're joined by Willie McLeod, a redshirt freshman running back out of Beach Island, South Carolina. Willie, welcome to the Al Holland Show.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Great job last Saturday. You had a career best, 78 yards. Talk about that win.
That was a big win. We had a little streak of a few losses, so that helped us, get a little mojo back about ourselves going into next week with conference. So it was a really big win for us.
2-0 now in the Mid-South Conference East.
Yes, sir.
Of course, a win a long time ago, it seems, against Bluefield, and then Cincinnati Christian. A little tougher opponent coming up this week. Cincinnati Christian, they've been put to bed. Now we've got Cumberland's coming up. What do you know about Cumberland's?
They're a pretty physical team. They got a couple young guys, so we're going to try to take advantage of that. But I think we have a pretty good game plan, and we should come out with the W this weekend and become 3-0 in conference.
Sharing carries in the backfield this year with Jamar Kirksey, Zandre Willis, of course. But you learned a lot from Quan Weaver last year while you were redshirting as a true freshman.
Yes,
what did Quan Weaver pass on to you that's helped you running the football this year?
The biggest thing I took from Quan, he was a really good friend of mine, was finishing runs, finishing everything tough because sometimes your opponent thinks you're going down when you're really not. So the biggest thing was just finishing runs and also getting in my playbook, studying, make sure I know everything like the back of my hand. That was another big thing.
Preparation.
Yes,
a lot
sir.
more so at the college level than high school.
Oh, yes, sir. A whole lot more. Yes, sir.
Let's talk about Willie McLeod, the student. Redshirt freshman, you've been on campus a couple of years now.
Yes,
What's
sir.
your academic major?
I'm a communications major right now.
What's
Yes,
up
sir.
with all of you guys majoring in communications?
Communications is just a really it's a various things that you can do with it.
Sure.
It's a very big background behind it. I like communications.
Your teammate, Ramon Morris,
Yes,
he
sir.
steps in and says he's majoring in communications, and he flat out came out and said he's coming after my job. So what are your plans for the future, Willie McLeod?
I could be after your job also, but I know I want to work. I want to work for ESPN one day. That's my dream job.
There you go.
To be on Sports Center every single morning.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
Instead of Mike and Mike, it'll be Mike and Willie.
Yes, sir.
Mike
That's
and
right.
Willie.
Yes, sir.
Sports Center, the early edition. Be sure and look for that
Yes,
a few years down the road. Willie McLeod, Talk about your transition from high school football to college football. If someone's tuned in right now, perhaps a high school player
Yes, sir.
that wants to play at the next level, talk about that transition. How tough was that?
It was pretty tough, but when you put your mind to it and you actually tell yourself that you actually want to succeed, because you're not the only person that was good from your high school. Everybody in college was the best kid on their high school team. So you have to come in with a different type of preparation, and you have to take care of your body a whole lot more.
And, of course, if you could give one high school senior some advice, a high school running back perhaps, some advice that wants to play at the college level next year, what advice would you give them?
The biggest thing that I've learned since being in college is being physical, simple. Physical, downhill guys that want to take a pound in, guys that just go all out every single play and put their body on the line. Those are the guys who succeed.
You've been playing football for a while now.
Yes, sir.
A lot of guys that play the game had someone that influenced them growing up, perhaps as an 8-year-old or an 18-year-old. Tell us about someone who was an influence in your football life.
My favorite player of all time is Jerome Bettis.
Okay.
From the Pittsburgh Steelers. I grew up a Pittsburgh fan, but he was more of a bigger guy growing up, and I was a bigger kid. And he had a really bad asthma problem, and it was just always tough for him, being not as in the best shape as all the other running backs and things like that.
Sure.
But he came out, and he was one of the greatest running backs of all time, top 10 in all-time rushing yards. So that was my guy.
He may not have been in the best shape, but he ran over people.
Yes, sir. He ran over
the
people.
bus.
Yes, sir.
We've got our own bus here in Willie McLeod.
Thank you.
It's the Coach Al Holland Show. Have great luck Saturday against Cumberland.
Thank you.
It's the Coach Al Holland Show. We're talking U-Pike football. We'll be back with Coach Al Holland and preview the University of Cumberland's Saturday at the Hambly Complex. We're coming to you live from Buffalo Wild Wings. It's presented by Appalachian Wireless. Welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings in Pikeville. It's the Coach Al Holland Show as we bring you U-Pike football live every Tuesday from Buffalo Wild Wings. And you can come join us every Tuesday. Food specials and a chance to meet the Bears players and coaches, various ones in the house. Yep. Tonight you've got another group of players here.
We got our linebackers here, and Coach Pavelic's here with them guys tonight. And a great group of guys here, and it's neat for the guys to get to come out and watch the show and hang out with the fans, and people get to ask them questions and how the season's going and things like that. So,
of course, we get to meet the players in the Bears Den, offensively and defensively, every week, and had a chance to talk with Willie McLeod and Ramon Morris, and both of those guys communications majors. One has got a goal of being on ESPN every morning. He's going to change the name of the morning show to Mike and Willie. And then Ramon also, after my job, wants to be an analyst.
You better watch out
someday. And these guys, certainly they've got a love for the game of football.
They do.
Both quality players as well.
Two great young men, and continue to work hard. Ramon's been a true warrior for us, and continues to work and day in and day out trying to get better in that classroom. But he's a special talent on the football field,
sure.
and but he understands you got to take that classroom work seriously to be able to stay out there. Willie has had them same battles, and understands how important that is. But both of them come from different backgrounds, and they're right here and work hard every single day, or out there putting it in for this football team, and they continue to get better and better every day.
The transition from high school football to college football, it's tough enough for players, but you mentioned the classroom. Mm-hmm. Those kids are also making that transition from high school, where things may have come a little easier, to being challenged in a college classroom. That's a tough transition as well.
No, that is a big transition for those guys. Maybe in high school not having to take our books home as a senior and having to study and do all those things. In college, for every hour of class you have, that's at least 30 minutes of work you need to be putting in before the next class. So, if it's an hour and a half class, that's every bit of, another hour of time you need to put in. So those guys need to put in the extra work and trying to create those study halls and things like that for those guys to be successful and find those tutors for them and for each class.
Absolutely. And, of course, those guys with an off week, with study halls, they try to stay on top of the game academically and athletically. Speaking of athletically, the University of Cumberland's coming up on Saturday at the Hambly Complex. As we mentioned earlier, the next 4 matchups, all East Division games,
Right.
all with equal importance. You need to be able to stay on top of the East Division, and you've got to get a win Saturday.
Right. This time last year we sat sort of in the same situation, and we get knocked off by them, and then still have a chance late in the season. And you don't want to put yourself in that situation, having to rely on somebody else, and take care of business yourself. But it's a good football team that's coming in here, an experienced football team. Coach Reimer's doing a great job with them. They're going to be physical. They're going to run the football. We got to make them uncomfortable. And they're going to be sound on defense. Steve Jewell does a great job with their defense. Former Corbin coach and high school coach, and his boy plays for him, and he's a great player. So, we're going to have our hands full. But, I like our chances. We're at home, and always anytime you can play at home, that helps us, and getting our crowd behind us. We had a great crowd this past weekend, helped get the guys going early in the game, and I thought that we fed off that momentum, and we need to do the same thing this weekend.
Obviously, the defensive unit will be confident coming into Saturday. They hit 9 of 10 goals last Saturday.
Yeah.
The offense, too, got healthy a little bit. Big yardage, spreading it around. They should be more confident as well.
Yeah, and, the defense is playing really well. And we got a little tune-up of what, sort of like what Cumberland's is going to be, some option football stuff. But Cumberland's is trying to run a little more power and run right downhill at you. But, offensively, it was good to see the ball get spread around, see both of our quarterbacks play well this past weekend. And, them guys developing and continuing to grow, and so we can expand that playbook is big for us offensively to have success.
Coach Al Holland, big crowd. We need that Saturday
sure
with
do.
Cumberland's coming to town. Talk about the pregame festivities this Saturday.
Hour and 45 minutes before kickoff, 11:45 we'll have the Bear Walk right there at the Bear Grounds, which it starts at 11:30. Free cookout for all the fans, and come down and hang out with the guys and watch them walk through the locker room, and then all the pregame festivities out there. They got jumpy houses and things like that for the little kids and some cornhole out there. So come out and enjoy all that, get a free meal, and then hey, at 1:30 kickoff, wear your pink this weekend. We'll also honor breast cancer awareness this weekend, so the guys will wear pink socks for that this weekend as well.
Very good. Good luck against Cumberland.
Thank you so much.
1:30 kickoff Saturday at the Hambly Complex. The Bears take on the University of Cumberland. You'll hear it on Z1075. It's the Coach Al Holland Show. Coming to you live from Buffalo Wild Wings. It's been presented by Appalachian Wireless.